I'm very happy with the kind of players that we have assembled.
4-4 right now on the point.
Oh, we see the Nanabu's going to be used here in the final moments, but Tavik, goodness me, man, I don't believe it, that was so fast.
The Misfits just slicing their way through United. Misfits right now applying more pressure. The barrier is in. They just want to dominate space here, and dominate they do. They come back in. Logic says nuts to that. I'm back in this point. Let's go. Let's go, says Misfits. Logic's 3 kills to Vic with the cleanup, and they will finish it out at the very end. What we're seeing here from them is that they have been able to adapt around this new roster.
They've managed to find that synergy so quickly. They've thrown stars together and they've just worked.
So Misfits are probably going to be #1 coming into the playoff spot.
And we are here for the playoffs. This is Contenders Season 1, and it is time to find out who will be crowned our champion.
So my name is Vitis Mineral Lasitis. I've been a professional Overwatch player for ever since beta pretty much, and I recently transitioned into a head coaching position for Misfits. Transitioning into a head coaching role now when there are very few coaches really to pick from, getting that experience under my belt, making sure that I'm there for the season 1 of Overwatch League, so I'm growing together with it was super important. So I think it's just like the timing and kind of my ambition that led me to it. You know, we brought in these star players into our lineup and they got the most attention out of all the players because we have so much firepower.
So much overwhelming damage and nobody to realistically contest this card up. ZP breathes a sigh of relief. The 4-man, the 5K, give him the 6K, Riverside steals it away from him. That's true brotherly love.
But I feel like the fact that we got together and we immediately produced results, and I feel like Zebosai is the one that you really have to credit for that because he's an exceptional leader. The consistency with which he calls, the way he leads the team is really something else.
I mean, I've kind of been a caller for like games I've played before too. I picked it up ages ago, but there's so much pressure. Like if something goes bad, you have to figure out, okay, what do we do to fix it? But this season it's been kind of easy since we've just been rolling over teams. So it isn't that weird that it clicked right away, because like we've got the players that would fit us. The Swedish lineup obviously didn't work out very well. We took a few parts of that and then we tried to build the lineup around the parts we already had. Like Suppe is a very calm guy. He doesn't take up much space communication-wise, and that's a big reason why we picked him.
I come from Finland. I'm known in game as Zappi, and I play flex support, which means Ana, Zenyatta, Sombra, and anything you need. I really do enjoy my time with these guys. They are kind of different from my old teams. They're really chill, they like to joke around, we like to do stuff together. I have enjoyed my time.
Ah!
No! What?
Did you even go for me?
We have Swoosh, who, you know, that was kind of the biggest question mark. We have a DPS player transitioning into a main tank role, and he's never played it. And as soon as I saw him play, like he was already at such a high level, like that really shocked me.
I play main tank, Monkey, Reinhardt, and my in-game name is Swoosh. Me and Logix are like the new kids on the block. But yeah, I've known all of these players for at least a year now. We've been friends before I was in Misfits. And I think we just get along really well, we listen to each other. It's great, like it helps the atmosphere a ton.
Peanut butter? No. I don't know. Good. I've never eaten anything. What the hell? Why did we not know this?
With Swoosh, like we played a bit with him during Team Sweden, and both me and Twick felt like there could be something there if we move into tank. And obviously that worked out great. Like him and Twick worked really good as a duo, and then like Twick is just one of the better players in Overwatch there is. Like he can play pretty much anything.
We are a bunch of individuals who's just highly skilled and just really good at roles, but we also understand that a team is not made without sacrifices, so to say, where We have teammates who don't look towards themselves to be the biggest superstars.
Tvik and Logix, who are both, they both complement each other exceptionally well. You have Tvik on the projectiles, he can really flex onto anything, and you have Logix who can give Tvik the room to work with.
I'm not quite sure why we had that initial chemistry, like from the get-go. Obviously, I was one of the new additions. The other addition was Swoosh, which obviously was my previous teammate on Movistar Riders. So I think we had that synergy, you know, that carried over. So I think that was a huge part in how good we performed from the get-go. And I think in general, Tvik is like a very flexible player. He gelled very well with both of us.
And then like we have Mane, who's like a very underrated player, I'd say. He plays D.Va very smart.
I've been playing with Misfits for almost a year now. Overall, the organization is very professional. They're very nice. Ben is awesome. All the management is awesome. Now we're with Logix, Swoosh, and they're both from the same team. So they're kind of like the chemistry there. And then we had like the core Misfits, like the old Misfits core. And we put Sebo on shot calling, and he's amazing at that. And then kind of just hit the honeymoon phase for like maybe a week where we barely lost a map to anyone.
So we have a ton of individual skill, we have a lot of versatility. We're not really limited to certain compositions, so I think that we have a very adaptable lineup.
We didn't really know what to expect, but we started off good and just kept going. Like we 4-0'd both our first two games versus Cloud9 and Giganti, and we expected them to be two of the better teams. So then it was just, okay, we gotta get that first seed.
I think everyone was super confident going into the season. Like everyone felt that this team could go very high. And I think obviously the expectation was to end first. We were all super confident.
These boys have been putting on a show for us all regular season. They have not dropped a single match.
Misfits have been so dominant throughout the entire season, 4-0'd all of the teams that are here in the playoffs, that they have to be the favorites coming into this. There's no way that you could predict Cloud9, I think. It's going to be a 3-0 game though, but tight maps. Each map itself is going to be tight.
It's going to be a tight 3-0.
It's going to be a tight 3-0.
Everyone expected us to put on a show, but obviously when you go on the stage, it's a completely different story. It's a one best of 5 set, anything can happen.
Mikey A strikes back with the pulse bomb. Swoosh is finished. A nice quick little shuriken there by Nevix is going to bring down to make a follow-up onto Zebasai, hitting headshots for days.
Misfits against the wall, and Cloud9 just a few picks away from taking this first round.
So, and there you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, the first round of Oasis is going to be going to Cloud9.
I think the first map was kind of, I know, it was like a huge learning part for us, because it's like, even though we practice in the practice area here, it was our first time with this team on the stage, and I think the biggest problem was our communication.
And there wasn't space enough for like macro calls, what also they have set up the fights properly. Just too much energy basically. Then second map we kind of fixed that and calmed it down, and from the second map on, I think we played good.
C9 back, and now the attrition is taking hold. They don't have to invest in Transcendence here, and they will get this payload moving forward. Misfits, looking like a different team on the second point. Just rolling right over Cloud9. Next one on, overtime, ticking down. Balsasa gets back in just in time, but he is gravely outnumbered.
Yeah, he's going to fall almost immediately, and with that, the overtime ticks down. Now, Misfits, they can roll into this last checkpoint now. They've already captured up a decent amount of percentage onto this point. Mikey A will be falling, and now they don't have to worry about Gray with the EMP.
The problem there is that
they do get the D-Mech. We see Misfits using the Nano Visor in the back. Kills rolling in for them. They've already picked up 3 off the back of it. In fact, they might be just looking for a few more now. A Helix rocket into close quarters. Space is brought down already. So close, CP. The final moments, and there you have it. Misfits are going to be the winners here of Valskaya Industries.
Coming to playoffs, I expected very dominant performance, especially against Cloud9. But it got obviously closer. We got some hiccups in the first map, and yeah, it went going there. Like Gibraltar as well, like it's one of their better maps, one of our worst maps, but we managed to clinch out the win, which is the important part.
Still happy with how it ended up, and really good of us that like even though we lost maps, we still remained like calm and collected, and we didn't start getting mad at each other or whatever. Because obviously going into it, we kind of expected to win pretty easy.
Adjustments, mostly just being calmer in the beginning of the match. Otherwise, just do what we did today, listen to Mineral, listen to our coach, keep reminding like what we're gonna do, what our tactic is, and just keep reminding ourselves like this is our plan, this is how we execute, this is how they play, we should be fine.
Giganti just beat 1-3, so we know we're gonna face Giganti. We played them early on the season, we won 4-0, but they've improved a ton from that, so it's gonna be a close game. Like in scrims, it's pretty even, but I still expect us to take it, obviously, and I see us as favorites. It's just gotta get a better start. I think that's the most important thing.
It all comes down to this: our final 2 teams, Misfits versus Giganti, and by all accounts, it should be a close one.
We played them in the beginning of the season where we won 4-0. recently we have been scrimming them, because we didn't play them at first, obviously. So it's one of the very few teams we have been scrimming constantly the last few weeks. And I don't know, they improved a lot over the last few weeks, but I think we're still pretty comfortable.
Linkser versus Tavik, one nade to the back, and Giganti now on the leading edge.
The shield just in the nick of time, and now the point flips over. Giganti are winning this one. Misfits had an overwhelming ultimate advantage.
Giganti piling on, Davin with the cleanup. The last few members of Misfits unable to get to the point, and that it's going to be round number 1, going the way of Giganti. They don't have a Winston. They're on the payload. Giganti, you got to go back and protect your base here, but it might not matter. They're falling by one right now, and that's going to be an easy take from Misfits.
Brings down the tires off from Linkser, and Misfits are running this board, and they aren't going to be able to capture out the map with 5 seconds just over the minute. So
the final 30 seconds, and now they just need a little bit more.
Yeah, they do. They're just going to try and bait out that South truck, and now with the Death Blossom, he moves it into the back lines. Going to be the teammate, gets a kill onto Swoosh, and then leading in. So many eliminations, and Giganti managed to cap up this second checkpoint with seconds remaining.
We might be in overtime, but the Misfits, they are out of gas. This should be Giganti's map, and in the round.
Last-ditch effort by Swoosh, but Giganti, they're going to be pushing this one in. We see a few more players come onto the point just briefly, but it's looking very much in Giganti's zone, and there you have it. They're going to be winning the map out, and one step closer, one map away from winning out the grand finals here, the EU side of Contenders.
I feel like when we're like against the wall, one map away, then everybody starts, they start playing better. Like, they don't give in to the pressure, and they are trying their best. I think it gave us a little boost that it got that close.
As soon as the pressure starts really hitting, it just starts like more and more, you start clicking and you start playing better and better.
Damn it, this is big, but the Earth Shatter into the back. Fraggy tries to connect the kills, but he laid down the Earth Shatter. It didn't matter to Vic. Into picking 3 kills up, using those concussion mines, and now they're rolling it forward. And Misfits, they hold on.
Controlling space, they're so close, friend, it's just a tiny little bit away.
Giganti still holding on, they got one more player, but they just get off the point. And Misfits, the reverse sweep dream is still alive. Misfits winning this one out. 2 kills already. Linkser, he has to clutch big time with this blade. He finds the kills. The team is actually doing this now, wrecking the opposition. Misfits have lost absolutely everyone. The mid-air reflect just to top it off.
No one from Misfits is on the point. Tick-tocking down. Giganti, you are the champions.
My expectations were high. I thought we had a good chance to win it all. And I thought we had an edge on Giganti. It's kind of sad that it turned out this way. It was pretty close at least. But I'm happy to see them win on the other side. But I see that we have lots of stuff we can improve on.
They played out of their mind, obviously. They played really well. Linkser popped off, and especially Davin, he played really, really well on Tracer. We're usually really confident in the way we move around the map and the way we take space, but they were like pressuring us really hard. They have obviously saved some things for the final, which punished us sometimes.
Our best control maps were just completely out of the picture. Like, we have never played them as a team. Obviously, we have played them as individuals and so on. But it makes a huge difference considering that the amount of practice time that we already had.
A lot of our comfort maps were taken out. Obviously, everyone had the same conditions, but you know, it did hurt us quite a bit, and we didn't. Like, our biggest weakness, I think, was the fact that we couldn't really adapt to those changes fast enough. I think the biggest takeaway is, as it was yesterday, it's the same thing today. Like, anytime our backs were against the wall, we stepped up.
I think it's only getting stronger. This was a really good experience for us. We are already talking a bit about what we thought went wrong and what we could have done better.
In general, I do feel like everyone's a friend.
It's one of the first teams, actually, personally, where I have like a very good experience with everyone. Like my previous teams would be like, you know, we scrim together and then we go our own ways. It's one of the few teams where like after scrims we go play other games together. And like that team bonding is really, really important in Overwatch.
From this, it just makes kind of like a funny atmosphere because like they recognize that it's like this is what's gonna be needed, and in a sense, it's like whenever we start playing, it's like there's a lot of laughter, there's a lot, but a lot of the time it's just like straight up seriousness all the time, so we can always have like the better practice. But in general, we're just making fun of ourselves, just making jokes.
You always have to think about what can we do better as a team, and I feel like everyone shares that mindset, and I think that's what's going to make us successful in the future.